Hello guys, today I will be going to show you all the variations of the trap that is Stafford Gambit. So first of all, let me tell you that this is a trap where almost all players fall for this. Almost all rated up to 2600 players have fallen for this trap. And although the engine gives white slight advantage in this trap, but you can see that this trap has so many variations and so many disastrous moves that white can easily fall for this trap. So I will show you one by one all the variations of this trap. So let's start the trap, and here comes the screen, and the trap is obviously for the white. So the trap starts with e4, e5, and when knight f3, knight f6, and now as the knight has come here, it is attacking our pawn, and now we are attacking his pawn. So when he takes our pawn, now I the ways will be to probably put for move forward this pawn or and make an open file for the bishop, but and kick the knight out. But in the trap, it says knight to c6, and here opponent has two choices. If he goes back, we can simply take our pawn, and now we are in equal material. And if he takes the knight, so after the knight takes, then we can simply take his knight with our uh, pawn. And now the main target for this is our f2 pawn. So we have to, in almost all the variations, our bishop will come here and attack this pawn, and the knight will come here or mostly here and attack this pawn. So there are many uh, ways in which he can attack this, and few I will show. So the it is very hard to now hold on to this pawn. So opponent may try push this forward, or bring the knight here defending the pawn, or maybe bring bishop here. But all of us, the main aim will of us will be to bring the bishop here and attack this file f2 pawn, and develop as many pieces as possible to quickly, and then castle on the queen side, and quickly attack on the white. So let's see one by one what will happen. So first, if the first way the white can attack is to be very harsh and straight away forward this pawn and attack the knight. And when he's attacking our knight has to move. So the best square will be to come here, and now it is attacking the f2 pawn, and this is the most vulnerable pawn. And as I told you that this is the pawn which white has to save, and we have to attack it with all our pieces involved in the game. So obviously in many of the cases the white will try to kick out the knight by bringing his pawn up, and this is already a disastrous move, because after bishop to c5, now if he takes our pawn, we can simply take the king with check, and if he takes, we can take his queen. And moreover, if he tries to not take and still defend the queen, we can simply skew his queen, and now he is forced to take, and we can win his queen. This is one of the trap, and let me show you another other variations when he does not take and brings his bishop here. So when he's bringing his bishop here, we can simply take it, and if he captures, we can give him check here. Now opponent has one move and this move. So if he brings here, it is a simple checkmate. And if he tries to bring his pawn to defend the check, we can simply take it, and he cannot take because of the pin. And if he takes, we win a rook. So this is one of the variation, and let me show you other variation when he is not pushing the e5 pawn. Now the other may after this maybe to push the d4 pawn, and this is, as we can see, is the best move from the engine side. So when he pushes forward this pawn, we can simply bring our queen here, attacking this f2 pawn, as this is the only target of ours. Now here's a trap. If he tries to push the pawn, we can simply take it, because he cannot take it with the pin. So if he takes, we can take his rook, and if he tries to take this, then also the rook is gone because of this check. And he can bring the king or move the bishop, then we can take, and we are in advantage of a material. And also in this case, the best way to defend is from the queen. And when he's defending from the queen, I've already told you that. we have to develop our pieces as quickly as possible. And let's say after this he tries to attack the knight by the bishop, so we can simply defend it. And if he tries to take with the n%, we can simply take the pawn. And if he castles, now we can attack this pawn, and if he tries to push forward, we can attack, take our pawn back. And now we are in a better position. And king, obviously white is struggling to cope with us. So the next trap is other way of defending this pawn is to knight to c3, and now the pawn is defended. But the problem is we are again targeting this f2 pawn. So the basic principle, bringing the bishop to c4 c5 and threatening this pawn. So there are many common ways the white can defend. So the most common idea is to defend this e pawn by pushing for the d3. But now we can simply place our knight here and put pressure on this f2 pawn, as he cannot take because our bishop is protecting this. So he may try something like bishop to e3, but after takes we can take with the knight. Now we have gained the material back. And we are obviously not allowing the king to castle either of the side. He has also very weak structure, as this doesn't have his f pawn, and the structure is slightly weakened. So this is one way in the advantage. And the second most popular move after d3 is to bring the bishop out here and attacking the our f7 pawn. So in this, our idea will be the same, to bring our knight to g4 and attack this pawn. And they may try to castle the king side, but now the trap starts with h4, and now we are pinning this pawn, so the pawn cannot move. And we are also triple attacking this pawn by our queen, bishop and knight, so he has to protect this. And but in the same time we are also threatening to mate on h2, so he will have to do something. And h3 is the most common reply. And after this we can take this pawn, as it is triple attacked and defended by only two pieces. So if he takes with the rook, we can simply take and gain the material back. And if he tries something different to try to defend with the queen, with defending the double attacking the knight, now the mate is forced by double check. And you know that in double check the king has to move, so it has only one square left, this. And after this again double check, so the king has to move, no blockading will be possible. So after king to g1, this h1 is checkmate. So this is the most popular trap in the knight variation after he brings his bishop. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. There are many more traps ahead which will help you all to improve your ELO and destroy your opponent easily. You can also make a small help for me by just clicking on the subscribe button below and also sharing the video with all your friends. But the second most popular response is bishop to e2. And if they play this, so we can come here and attack this pawn by our bishop and the queen. And the most popular response by the white is to castle. And if they castle, now we have this pawn hanging, so we can take with the knight. And if they take, we can take with the queen also. And now if he plays this and try to attack our queen, now we have to make sure that the d4 pawn cannot attack the bishop, because then the attacking ideas will be closed. So we should come here and wait for, do not let the opponent play d4. And the idea of ours will be to bring our bishop here and then castle on the queen side or the king side, whatever the situation demands. And we are in a good position and have taken the material back. Now in next situation, the trap comes after the bishop comes here. Best move for white to play here is h3, and blocking our knight's movement, which was attacking f2 pawn. So in this case, what we have to do is simply develop our king queen here and focus on this whole file. And after this, he may let's play d3. We may develop our bishop, and if he plays this, we simply push, simply castle. And from here we are controlling this file, uh, putting pressure. And the most logical reply from the white here is to castle. And now if he castles, our strategy is to take the pawn on h3. and if he takes, we can simply deliver check. He cannot take because of the pin, and when he moves, we can play and take the pawn. And if he and after that he is to play king to g1, and after this we will simply forward our pawn h5 and controlling the g4 square now, and the bishop cannot take because of the this. So after that, let's he may try to attack and unpin his this pawn, but after this we do not care and play knight to g4, and if he takes, it's a clear win. After this whatever he may try, it's a checkmate. So if he takes this, then it's a checkmate, and if he do not play this and just try to capture, then it's a simple checkmate by this. So this was the most logical reply h3, and we have a trap for that also. And now let's look onto another trap. Now let's see a fun line after this that I've even played, and many of the players rated very high have also fallen for this trap. So after this, the opponent want to defend this pawn, so he may try d3, and after this, our goal is simple to put pressure on f2 square, and he may now try to pin our knight by playing bishop g5. But now here's a trap starts with knight takes on e4. Now he may simply try that the opponent has blundered, black has blundered, and he may try to take it. And if he takes, then he has only blundered because of this check, and only one square for the king is left, and that is e2. And after this, bishop to g4 is a simple brutal checkmate. They may also try not to take the queen, and after this move, if when we take, he may try to take the knight. And after this move, our trap is the more of the previous one to take the pawn on f2, and if it takes, then queen is gone, and if it doesn't take and play this, then we are squaring his king and queen. So almost all the trap works, and that's why I love Stafford. Now that was also the trap, but sometimes opponent may not play this, and after this move he might simply try to trade the bishops off and make our attacking less possible. So we don't have to worry, we just have to say trade. And although you may say that white has doubled his pawn structure, but he has controlled the center a lot, and not having a pawn bishop on this is, we are not able to attack this pawn soon. So we do not have to worry about that. We have to simply continue with our strategy of putting pressure on this file, and after this pawn is also weakened and threatened, so he may try to defend it with queen to f3, and now we will put more pressure on this pawn by bringing our queen and knight close. And the most logical reply for white is to protect it, and the only way he can do is by bringing his king near. So what we have to do is now just sacrifice the knight also, and sometimes the opponent may not take, but if he wants to take and if he is greedy, then we'll simply put our queen on e5, and now we are threatening both the rooks, this and this. And if he tries to attack our queen, we can simply take the uh, b2, and then the rook is gone. So this will also be the trap to work. Now in the d3 line, the best move again is h3, that then, but we will simply the trap starts with taking the pawn on f2, and if he takes, we'll simply give check. And now he cannot take. If he takes, then that's a simple strategy to win the queen. And if he doesn't takes and goes to back, then we can give check by h4. And now if he comes here, it's a unstoppable checkmate. And if he goes, and if he doesn't come back and goes to g1, then we'll give check from here. And if he tries here, then we can simply repeat our moves because we are down, and we can simply repeat and make a draw offer because it will be very hard as the king is in safety. So you have to remember that if it happens, then you have to simply trade, simply do a draw offer. In case he doesn't play h3 and tries the best move e2, now bring forward our h5 pawn. And now the best move from here is to play e3, and if it is c3, and if he plays c3, then you should understand that he is likely to more likely studied the Stafford Gambit, and then the traps won't work. But the common response here is also to castle, and now if he castles, we simply play our usual move, knight to g4, and now we are putting pressure again on this pawn. And now if it takes the knight, then we simply take and open up the file for the rook, and our plan will be to move our queen g4 h4, and then threaten a mate. And if it doesn't take and plays knight here, then our motive will be to play this and threatening mate on this. And if he takes, we take, and checkmate is forced. Let's say he tries to block, but we can simply take because this pawn is pinned by the bishop, so it won't work, and this is a checkmate. And the most obvious reply not taking this will be to bring the pawn forward. And now we cannot take with the queen because after this trade we have opened up the file for the rook, but he has a move rook to e1, and now we are completely losing. So if this case happens, we can take with the knight, and now we have exchanged our pieces. And after this he may try to pin the knight, but we can simply give a check, and if he takes, then we can also trade the bishops. And now if he gives rook here, we can simply play bishop e3 and long castle, and attack will still be going on, and we have an equal trade position. Another thing white can do is after bishop to, just a second, not playing castling, he first plays h3. Now if he plays this, then we are to proceed with our goal, attacking the f2 pawn. And now we are attacking this, and it's threatening checkmate, so he may castle now. And now we can shift our idea to put pressure on this, and then knight will come here. Most common response by here is to play c3 and then d4, but now we'll continue with the attack here. And if he takes, then again it is a checkmate from here. And if he doesn't take, and now if he tries this, then we cannot take with the knight because of this move, pinning, forking both knight and bishop. So in this case we'll simply bring our queen to g6 and putting pressure on the file. If he takes, our response is common to open up the file for the rook and put pressure. Okay, that was the case when h3 is going, but best response from the white is to play c3 d4. And we have still a trap here, but you have to be careful. And everything in Stafford is just a gambit of and sacrificing of material and taking advantage. So the most common reply from here after knight to g4 is d4, and now he's attacking our bishop. So we do not have to care about this, and we have to take attacking. We will play queen to d4, and we are threatening to check. And in a nasty way, it's not a checkmate because king can come here. So he may try to defend this pawn and checkmate by this, but again we will put pressure by moving our queen here. And now he may try, the most common response is this, but here your the move you have to remember is pawn to h4. Now you may think that we are sacrificing our knight. Yes, we are sacrificing, but here's a trap. After knight takes, we have this, and again we have check idea. And to protect this, he may make a common response, bishop to e3, and now defending this life while. But now we'll sacrifice our rook also, and when the rook takes, we have this passed h2 pawn, which is soon to promote. So he may try to defend the file with this e2, d1 d2 move. And now we'll simply develop our bishop. He cannot take because if he takes, then castling is a square, and he's going to fork the queen. And he may try to defend by bishop to d3. Now bishop to c4 is again trapping the bishop, and this pawn is soon to promote. And if he plays d4 bishop, then we will simply take. And after takes, queen king has to move as it is a check, and after it moves, we can simply trade. And whatever way he takes with the queen or the bishop, this is our queen, and we are winning. So the best reply from here is to play h1, queen h1, and not try to take this and block the pawn. Now our best reply is to protect the pawn, and they may now try to fork our queen and bishop and win the bishop. But now we have a nasty trap here also. After bishop takes, if he tries to take, we cannot take. We do not take first by the pawn. by the queen but castle. And after this the king has to move, and after the king moves, now we protect our pawn, and we have protected our pawn, and now the rook may come here, and then it will be very difficult. And also he's now giving me one of his bishops. So after this, if he doesn't play this move and tries a random move like a3, then we will castle, and now our rook may come here, and his king is in the center, so we are in an advantage. We have very nasty traps, and after a few moves, our rook will come here, and then bishop will try to attack his queen, and we will make a queen and win the game. Now, there's a bonus tip, and as we were discussing Stafford, there may be the case that many of the times he may not take, and then what we have to do is there. The second most common response by white is to play the Italian game and bring the bishop here. Now this pawn is free, so we can take. And after this, if he takes, we will simply push our pawn and threaten the bishop. So bishop should move back, and now we will play an aggressive move, queen to g5, and attacking the knight and this file. Already there are now black is in advantage, and now this is the case where 70% of the time black wins. And the second move from here is maybe not to play the bishop first bring the knight. Now it's a four knights game, and after this if he plays bishop to c4, then we can simply take this pawn, and if he takes, then now it's a tricky move to play d5, and now we are forking the pieces, and he has to defend. And now if he takes, we are simply up the material, and if he tries to go back and attack the queen, we can simply push back to d6, and now we are protecting this and having a pretty good game with a good trade of pieces and spawn in the center attack, and a quick development. So that's two bonuses. If the opponent doesn't accept the Stafford Gambit, then we can continue this and be ahead in the development. So friends, I hope you enjoyed this gambit and all its variations. Do comment and tell me which variation you like the most, and also do write me the next gambit or opening you want me to make a video for you.